Denver 7 On Demand is brought to you by Ferguson and BAC Appliance Center, the best in bath, kitchen, and lighting for your home.
Good evening, I'm Ann Trujillo, and this is the Denver 7 digital channel, and here's the latest from our newsroom. RTD's G line, also known as the Gold Line, has hardly been a gold rush for businesses and homeowners along the line. The train from Denver's Union Station to Arvada isn't even running yet and is consistently shrouded in controversy and complaints. And the latest complaint is coming from homeowners concerned that their property values are now being impacted. Contact 7's Russell Haythorne getting answers on why this could be true.
From dawn to dusk, the G line cruises through Arvada, yet no one's on board.
What's the problem?
It's a question literally everyone in Arvada has asked themselves.
My issue is, why isn't it running?
Customers have to stop talking or constantly interrupted.
The horns are one thing, and we've been reporting on that for months now, but most recently, concerns have been elevated even more among both homeowners and businesses about the impact all of this is having on property values. A train constantly in motion, yet going nowhere for the people here.
And now I'm wondering, is it really going to be in my lifetime? You know?
Homeowner Paulette Tierney also wonders how much value her home and the homes of her neighbors have lost.
They bought houses just so they could take the light rail.
On the business side,
You saw rent prices just skyrocket.
owner of La Dolce Vita Coffee, Debbie Hansen, says the promise of commuter rail caused inflated rent in Old Town, yet there's been no delivery on that promise.
We were promised the traffic, like you're going to get a lot of people, and we haven't seen that either. A lot of businesses have closed.
Despite growing anxiety among businesses and homeowners, Phil Show with Remax Realty in Old Town tells Denver 7 that home prices are not going down, only flatlining, and he does not see a bubble or a retraction in values. RTD says it's hoping to get yet another update from the Federal Railroad Administration next month,
How many excuses can they make?
as frustrations boil over.
In 1969, they put a man on the moon.
Don't change it if it's not broken. That's my final word, I guess.
In Arvada,
Very horny, if that's all you hear.
Russell Haythorne, Denver 7.
And Contact 7 is committed to bringing you stories that impact our community, from righting wrongs to investigating complex issues. Our team is here for you. If you have a story you would like us to investigate, you can call or text our tip line or submit your tip on thedenverchannel.com. Aurora Police and RTD continue their investigation into a derailment involving the R line, where one passenger was seriously hurt. You might remember we brought you this story as breaking news during yesterday's snowstorm. Well, during this crash or this incident, a woman was thrown out of the train and she was badly injured. Here's what one of the passengers told us today.
I thought we got hit by somebody from one of the sides. It felt like we were pushed off the tracks, or we had hit somebody and people were flying around. We thought it was tipping, but we landed upright.
Now, Denver 7 has requested the surveillance video on board the R-Line from yesterday. At this time, our request has been denied due to the pending investigation. We're also wanting to learn more about the train operator and what type of investigation is being done because of this incident. So be sure and stay with Denver 7 for continuing coverage of this story, both on air and online. A lawsuit filed today likely puts on hold a plan to bring California's emission standards to Colorado. Governor Hickenlooper moved our state to a low emission standard. Newly elected Governor Jared Polis took it one step further, ordering zero emissions in his first executive order. And one way of doing this was to implement California's strict standards. However, Colorado's Auto Dealers Association says not so fast. Here's Denver 7's Jennifer Kovaleski.
The Automobile Dealers Association wants to put a halt on Colorado's green dream. And no, we're not talking about weed. We're talking about our electric car future.
The problem is we're a truck state.
Tim Jackson with CATA says they are suing the state over recently adopted low-emission vehicle standards. New standards meant to put cleaner, more fuel-efficient cars on the road.
Which we believe is illegal.
Illegal, they say, because it imposes California's strict standards on Coloradans.
A much tougher standard to meet in Colorado, because 75% of the vehicles that new car customers buy in our new car stores are pickups and SUVs.
CATA wants the rule thrown out and say consumers are the ones who will pay the price for the push to EVs and more fuel-efficient cars. They estimate adding more than $2,000 to the sticker price on a new car.
Manufacturers are losing money on them, but they're having to offset that by raising the price on the other vehicles.
Newly elected Governor Jared Polis wants the state to go even further to take on Denver's brown cloud.
It's done.
His first executive order calls for the state health department to establish a zero-emissions vehicle program no later than May, an order that is likely now in limbo, with Caddis pending litigation.
We think they're rushing that. We don't think the government should be telling Colorado consumers what kind of car they should buy.
And that was Jennifer Kovaleski reporting. Now, bottom line, the CADA isn't saying electric cars are not the future. They're saying the technology isn't there yet to make this move affordably, and believe how the state went about it is illegal. We have reached out to the governor's office and the state health department for their take on this. Both said they could not comment because of the pending litigation. And Denver 7 also learning today that the city of Lone Tree plans to relaunch its Link Transit on-demand service this coming Monday. It's basically Uber. It's free and only available within Lone Tree city limits. The city says the service provided 20,000 rides since a pilot program began in August of 2017. Lone Tree is relaunching the service with a new app, although you'll still be able to call for rides if you want. The number we have for you on thedenverchannel.com. So do you recognize this man? This is Byron Whitehorn. Denver police say he sexually assaulted 4 women in downtown Denver between January of 2017 and last month, and he is behind bars tonight. And officers tell Denver 7 Whitehorn targeted drunk women leaving bars in the Lodo neighborhood, and police believe there could be more victims. A Colorado lawmaker wants to ban convicted animal abusers from owning pets. Representative Alex Valdez, who represents portions of Denver, says he modeled this bill after a California law that bans pet ownership following a conviction. Valdez says there is a correlation between people who hurt animals and people who hurt people. The bill has its first hearing on Thursday. And the Colorado Senate has passed a bill to award our presidential electoral votes to the winner of the national popular vote. The hope is it would replace the Electoral College, which some believe is an unfair system. Now, Denver 7 recently went 360 on this issue, and here's what our community is saying.
Our president should be elected because the president appeals to the majority of voters here in the United States, not just the majority of voters in 12 battleground states. It's not just about the last election. Let's be clear about that. The idea of the national popular vote has been around for a long time.
Now, the bill passed on party lines. It will now go to the House, where it's also expected to pass. And we'd like to know your thoughts on this story, sparking a lot of conversation right now, in fact, on the Denver 7 Facebook page. And we want to remind you that our team is committed to telling stories from multiple perspectives, and that's why we have our 360 team. So if you have a story or an idea that you believe we should give a closer look to, contact us at thedenverchannel.com. All right, puppy fans, Denver International Airport will be holding a puppy bowl. It's this Friday from 10 a.m. until noon. The airport is teaming up with the Dumb Friends League to find puppies and older dogs new homes. So if you can't make it out to the airport, Denver 7 will be there to follow the big game. And now from the First Alert Weather Center, here's a look at your forecast for the upcoming week. Temperatures in the 40s and the 50s. Saturday looking great at 55, and Sunday with a chance of showers. This has been your Denver 7 On Demand update. Thanks so much for joining us. Check back here later tonight for another update, and download the Denver 7 app for breaking news and alerts. I'm Ann Trujillo.